presentation title or the presentation title is analysis of important meteorological factors in the number of patients with heat stroke by age and by severity in Japan. Okay, let's move on. So firstly, introduction already talked by Dr. Ihara. So in Japan, temperature is increasing gradually, and the rate is around 1.3 degrees Celsius, 100 euros. And when we look at the top five ranking of hot temperature all after 2016, sorry, 2016. And so the most hot annual temperature so far is 2020. I don't know how about this year, but so far 2020 is the highest temperature in Japan. And already explained by Dr. Daihara, so due to the temperature increase in Japan, we see a lot of heat stroke patients in Japan. And the number is around, in Japan, every year more than 50,000 people are transported by ambulance due to heat stroke. And due to temperature increase by climate change, so we will see more heat stroke patients in the future. Okay, then, so when we look at the age group of total heat stroke cases in Japan, so more than 50% count for the elderly, more than 50% count for total cases. And so this figure shows the severity of heat stroke cases. This is plus severe and moderate, so these requiring hospitalization, so it accounts for around 35% total heat stroke cases. Okay, so as you know, heat stroke is already a serious impact in Japan. And so far, many heat stroke adaptation against heat stroke has been implemented by the government of Japan and also by the local government. And among them, one of the greatest initiative is what we call heat stroke alert. So in this initiative, the alert is issued when the heat index, WGT, is expected to be 33 degrees or higher on a given day or next day. And firstly, this initiative was implemented in just limited area of Japan, but from 2021, so this initiative is expanded to other regions of Japan. Anyway, so heat stroke alert is now one of the very important initiatives to mitigate heat stroke in Japan. Okay, so yeah, as I already explained, heat stroke is a very serious issue in Japan, and in order to reduce their heat stroke risks, so better prediction, to develop a good prediction model would be one of the important issue in this heat stroke study. So this is because a good prediction model can contribute to the greater allocation of ambulances and also medical staff in medical facilities. And development of heat stroke model is one of the very kind of major issues in heat stroke study. And among them, one of the major model is what we call traditional heat stroke prediction model. So this model is based on the association between climate indicators such as temperature, WGT, whatever related to hot temperature, and also heat stroke. And with an exponential type model, something like this, vertical axis shows the such a daily maximum temperature, and this one shows the heat stroke incidence. So this association will be explained by this kind of exponential type function. Anyway, so important point is that what would be the explanatory variable in terms of heat stroke incidence? This is one of the very popular study in this field. Okay, so what is the objective of this study? Okay, so we have a couple of things to be addressed to conduct this kind of study. So first, heat stroke incidence differ between early and late summer, even at the same temperature. So this is because especially early in the summer, people still do not accustomed to the hot temperature. So this kind of phenomenon is called climatization. So the prediction models did not consider this heat acclimatization. Then, how we do we, how do we account for the heat acclimatization? This is one of the very important issues in this field. The second one is that so far we just focusing on the climate indicators of the incidence date. Then what about the previous date? What to previous date? And does that have any influence on the number of historical cases? This is also very important, but not so addressed so far. And the third one is that what are the most important climate indicators for the prediction of historical cases? So in other words, we can say, can we measure the relative importance of climate indicator to explain the number of historical cases? And the last one is with the most important climate indicators, the prediction accuracy can be improved. So I address these issues in this study. Okay, so data and methodologies. So first, I would like to talk about the historical data. So in this study, we adapted historical data provided by the Japanese government, and we conducted analysis by each age group and by each severity. And in this study in Japan, we have 47 prefectures, and conducted this analysis for each 47 prefecture. And for each 47 prefecture, we developed a prediction model by adapting important climate indicators that we find in this study. Okay, so in this study, we introduced what we call relative temperature. So what is relative temperature? So relative temperature is a kind of indicator to expressing heat climatization. So so the definition of definition of relative temperature is something like this. So this means that this shows how hot temperature people experience so far compared to the temperature of the incidence day. And if the relative temperature is higher than the daily average temperature of the incidence day, that means people are not does not people does not experience high temperature in the past. So that means heat mutation is assumed not to have occurred so far. And so on the other hand, so relative temperature is if the relative temperature is lower than the average daily temperature of the incidence day, so it means people already experienced high temperature in the past, and that can be assumed that hydrogen acclimatization is occurred so far. Okay, so these are climate indicators adapted in this study. So in this study, we introduce relative temperature, as I explained, and also relative humidity, just similar to the relative temperature. And also we try to include the lag effect up to 3 days before, something like this, like 103. And in total, I adapted 44 climate indicators to find what the most important climate indicators. Okay, so then how I conducted importance analysis. So in this study, to analyze the importance of climate indicators, we introduced conditional permutation performance importance method through the random forest approach. And one of the strong points of this CPI method is that this method can deal with collinearity. So this is very important because we consider potentially correlated climate indicators. So we have to deal with this possible collinearity appropriately. So in this sense, so CPI is very important method to conduct importance analysis. And so I don't have enough time, so I skip the details of this CPI method, but it's something like considering partial correlation, but I don't go in detail. And also the basic mechanism, the basic idea of random forest is something like this. And I divide the data into 9 to 1 ratio for test training data and also test data, and take a 10-fold cross validation is applied. Okay, so this is the analysis flow. I skip this. Okay. Okay, so this is the result. So this slide shows the ranking of climate indicators for each age group and its severity. So let me explain how we see this table. So this table, in each cell, uh, the number of in each cell shows the number of prefecture in which the corresponding climate indicator were ranked most important or second most important. And so what we can see from this table or this result is that when we look at the age group for 7 to 17 year generation, so this is all 44 climate indicators among all. Relative temperature is ranked most important in 21 prefecture out of 47 prefecture. And the second one is relative WGT, case acute. And look at when we look at the 18 to 64, so relative temperature is ranked most important in 15 prefecture, and more than 25, 20 past, sorry, 20, 21, WGT. And when we look at the severity, DSM, so relative temperature is ranked as most important, 22, and when it's about 5, relative temperature is ranked most important, 21 prefecture. Anyway, so important message from this table is that relative temperature or relative humidity, that expressing heat from the station is very important in terms of yeah, in terms of expressing the number of useful cases. Another important point of this study is that climate indicator of incidence state are evaluated more important by previous days climate indicators. Okay, so I will wrap up. So this is a result in terms of prediction accuracy. What I want to say is that previously in the experiential model we usually adapted maximum temperature or maximum durability, but in this result we found that the relative temperature or relative durability gives better prediction accuracy than max temp or the max durability. Okay, so this is the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you.
We have time for one question or short questions. If there is no question,
Yes.
you can end your. Okay, sorry. Um,
Do you see some effect of the minimum temperature also? Because in cities it can be important.
Yeah, thank you. In this study, I don't include minimum temperature, but recently we found that very hot night is also influential on human body's risk. I try to include minimum temperature. Yeah. But from a perspective, I think minimum temperature itself will not so influential compared to relative temperature or relative WDT, because one of the important messages from our study is that including heat acclimatization is very important to reproduce the number of these. Yeah, thank you.